The Supreme Court on Friday overturned a landmark precedent known as the Chevron deference, which gave broad authority for agencies to give regulations. Now, it'll be even tougher for these agencies to give regulations, and it may require Congress to be more specific about the law.
The decision arose from fishing companies that challenged the National Marine Fisheries Services rule requiring the herring industry to bear the costs of government observers on fishing boats. The doctrine, established nearly 40 years ago in Chevron versus Natural Resources Defense Council, directed courts to defer to an agency's reasonable interpretation of an ambiguous statute. Critics of Chevron describe it as a legal framework that typically gives more favor to experts within executive agencies, such as in cases where industry groups challenge climate change rules or other environmental regulations, and a doctrine that makes suing over regulatory measures much more difficult for ordinary petitioners like the fishermen in this case. These challenges to Chevron also come as the High Court has seemingly moved away from the 1984 doctrine, not having relied on it since 2016 to make any of its key decisions. Meanwhile, lower courts have inconsistently applied the doctrine in cases concerning regulation. U.S. Solicitor General Elizabeth Prelogar had urged the court to maintain Chevron, citing its importance in administrative law and the potential chaos that could ensue from overturning it. Meanwhile, Justices Neil Gorsuch and Clarence Thomas, a pair of Republican appointees on the High Court, expressed particular concern over the doctrine's impact on individuals subject to regulatory actions during oral arguments in January.
The Supreme Court's decision came down along ideological lines, with the conservative members in the majority and the liberals in the dissent. I'm Kalen Deese for Washington Examiner.